and the Speaker failed to act within the law. Like if you look at Section 6 of that Powers and Privileges, Immunities Act, it is very elaborate about what is supposed to happen if the complaint is made. And then the Speaker then convenes a committee that is supposed then to inquire into the specific allegation about a member, or in this instance, the committee, or they who are participatory in the allegations of bribery. So the moment that did not, get acted upon, should I say, outside the prescription of the law and within the legitimate expectation of the governors themselves, then they have room for concern. But in my view, they should have escalated that. As
a Council of Governors.
Yes.
The President has made similar claims about the level of bribery in both houses of Parliament. These claims are made at rallies, at different fora where accountability is not demanded. Then what happens? People can always accuse members of extortion and bribery without any consequence.
Yeah, two things just to answer you. Two things. Number one, I hold with much, should I say, trepidation, the utterance of the President saying that he's a consumer of raw, intelligence, and it came to him that senators, and he mentioned, he did place a figure, and unless I'm wrong, 150 million. He said, ended up in some person's account. And he says, that's your money in terms of the residents of the specific county. But just take the position of the Kenyan, the average Kenyan, listening to him. And then you say that you do have the cell phone contact of the DCI head, he's retiring out there. And you as the president ought then to have asked whoever is the source of that information, then that you delegate to him. He didn't.
Are you not agreeing with Senator Nyoto that it vests on the accuser to prove the allegations?
But I'm saying
that it's up to the president now to prove that senators received that kind of amount. It's the same thing that you're saying, that even the Council of Governors, they are the ones to prove. Don't you think there should be accountability on the part of the Senate itself as an institution, the Speaker, to take action?
Yes, there ought to be. Every senator takes the Bible, takes an oath, or the Quran, or the Gita, or they affirm that they will uphold the Constitution. And I think one of the requirements for any member of Parliament, that's the National Assembly or the Senate, they ought to familiarize themselves with the provisions of the Constitution. Anyone going to the Senate ought to study and demonstrate they have knowledge of the County Government Act, inside out. Now, Article 10, 2, A, B, and C of the Constitution lay down the principles and the values, one of which is accountability. And I do not think with tremendous respect that the Senate has lived to the expectation of the Kenyan people that they will hold the governors to account. We hear of the equalization fund that is, expended for other than what was actually allocated for. We hear resources being used as contained in the Auditor General's report with absolutely no accountability. And then they blame the Kenyan people for saying, but you didn't hold these governors to account.
That's not true. That's not true.
No. Let me finish. Let me
just finish.
Let me finish.
Before I give, because of time, I'll give each
I need to help him. I need to help him.
Just a moment, Wakili. Just finish. Yeah.
Apart from the optics that we see in some TikTok shows that someone posts that, they were celebratory of that event, we want to see actual action. And like I said, if they make recommendations, I'm a consumer of their reports. Even the latest report, they endorsed the sale of a national asset, the Safaricom. I'm not going to go there. The recommendation that they give, in my humble view, it needs a follow-up. And probably the Senate needs to have a specific office that follows up on those recommendations being implemented and effected. Now, coming to the Council of Governors, are they right then to say, we will not appear before you? I say to them, you are breaching the Constitution, because the summoning to the Senate is a requirement, is a demand of the Constitution. Number two, if you do have grievances with these corrupt senators who are in those committees, name them and forward to the Speaker. At the same time, call a press conference, inform the public. We, in the spirit of transparency, again, Article 10(2) of the Constitution does bind you to transparency. Lastly, if you as senators feel aggrieved that the governors or the deputy governors are failing in their responsibilities, then it is up to you to allow the law to take its course from the county level.
What about his stance that the Senate does not recognize the Council of Governors as an entity?
It's tragic.
Okay.
You know, I want to add something. You know, I feel sometimes that you call a governor, like let's say you call Governor Sakaja, and you're asking him questions about previous governors and what they did, not what he's done. Maybe the next Senate will be asking the governor then about what Governor Sakaja did. I think we are trying very hard, even in the National Assembly, to catch up. There's been a lot of backlog to make sure that we catch it. I think everybody should do their job correctly. But in terms of bribery allegations, I believe that the one who made the allegation, the onus is on him or her to prove that they gave the bribe.
The president made the
I mean, the president said...
It's up to him to prove as well. It's just the same.
No, the president said... And you know, to be quite honest, I'm glad that he spoke about it publicly, because if there were people that were actually going and extorting money from the executive, then it needed to be brought out so that they stop. But then now, those who were extorted need to go and file their complaints.
Is it enough?
But you see, if
because these allegations are
you see, the giver,
nature.
both the giver and the taker are wrong here. So for me, I feel right now it's just for us to raise our moral compass.
Fred, can I help you with something? Yes. Because I think that we are losing the script. The moment, and I say, and I will repeat myself into this, the moment you allow the executive to use a propaganda machine of bribery to escape responsibility and accountability, because the biggest responsibility lies with the people who are endowed with resources to be able to use those resources at their disposal to offer service to the people. The day that this country will collapse is the day that you will allow any executive, whether it's the national executive or the county executive, to weaponize political statements like these people are receiving bribes, therefore we are not going to be accountable to any resources. Because that's what they are saying in point blank. We are not going to appear to account to the people because these people are receiving bribes. We have got a problem with this and these people, and therefore we will never appear anywhere of accountability. If you say that this senator and this senator and this senator are taking bribes from us, we have got personal issues with them on taking bribes from us, we have forwarded this to the evidence to DCI. You don't even need the Senate. I can't qualify myself. I can't judge myself. You can't accuse me of something and then judge myself. I'll favor myself, isn't it? So if you took the evidence and say, I'm going to DCI, I'm going to EACC, I'm taking this thing to court of law, but as that is continuing a legal process, I'll do my duty as a governor to continue appearing in the House to the best possible to account to resources that have been given. I would owe a lot of respect to you, right? But the moment even the public has been hoodwinked into believing that there is some bribe that is happening that is so serious that that now the governors are excused from issue of irresponsibility, this country will collapse. Okay. Why am I saying this? There's a backdrop to this conversation, because the backdrop was, and I listened to that what you're calling the press conference. It was in Kilifi. The backdrop was that you need to address us with decorum. That was the first claim. That when we appear in this particular Senate committee, we get not being addressed with proper decorum. Now, decorum is based on the written responses of these governors when they come to the committee. The reason why this issue started, if you remember, Fred, if you're in this country, number one was that in one of those documents, a governor had indicated, and I want to go personal by indicating the counties. If you're there, you can go back and play. A governor had indicated that they had qualified a house warming of 5 million. Another governor had indicated that they had qualified a Christmas tree of 10 million. This is public resources, for which a senator addressed themselves that how is it possible that you spent 10 million on Christmas tree? Another governor, which was actually in my committee now, and this one I can take because I was the chair of that committee, had claimed that the entire budget for water entity, entire budget of the whole year, was used on feasibility study.
And what was your recommendation?
Okay?
What did you recommend?
I've told you my recommendation was to EFCC to investigate. The EFCC was sitting there. But that notwithstanding, another case was a case of a water entity, actually in my own county, Migori County, where a governor had appeared before us as a water entity, that the staff have not been paid 25 million for the entire 2 years, and those staff are comfortable. Yet, if you look at the non-revenue water of that particular company, is 55%, meaning it's water that has been produced, but it's not being billed. That means that there is possibility that that money is being billed and people are eating it. That's why the staff are comfortable. So when we address ourselves to these particular issues, right, they demanded respect. And that respect, when we could not be able to guarantee it, the last one, actually, the most hilarious one, was an adverse opinion. Listen, was an adverse opinion where a governor said that I cannot read my own report, I need glasses, and walked away out of senators. This was the genesis of this issue. So my point is, as I finish,
what was your recommendation for that?
I've told you my recommendation.
Okay, we need to move on. We need to move on. We've now moved on to the issue of police officers being used to arrest these governors. We've not seen this before. And many question, okay, fine. Is